Two blasts today related to a similar one that occurred back on March the 2nd. Today's explosions left one teen dead and two women battling significant injuries.
Now we want to break it down for you from the beginning. On March 2nd, off Haverford Drive in Northeast Austin, Anthony House was killed. At that time, police believed it was an isolated incident. Then this morning, just before 6:45 off Old Fort Hill Drive, a 17-year-old boy was killed after taking a package inside his home where it exploded. A woman was also injured.
Fast forward 5 hours later at 11:50, a third explosion happening again on the east side of Austin on Galindo Street in Southeast Austin. A 75-year-old woman taken to the hospital following that explosion in critical but stable condition tonight. Her injuries life-threatening.
We have team coverage tonight across Austin. Molly Oak will join us in just a moment.
But we begin with Brandon Jones, who is live outside of the latest explosion in Southeast Austin. Brandon.
Well, Brian and Quita, this is the closest we've been able to get to the scene here all day. We're on Vargas Road. We're about 2 blocks from where this happened. And tonight in this community, I have to tell you, there is a sense of fear, there is a sense of worry, and even frustration about what happened here.
Day turns into night. Crime scene tape and police lights remain in a neighborhood where neighbors are more like friends.
We all care for each other. Everyone does.
There's concern, though. One of Caitlin's Ferguson neighbors on Galindo Street was the victim of a bomb attack. A woman in her 70s was severely injured after picking up an exploding package outside her home.
It scares everyone because now they got to worry about a box showing up randomly.
That worry has Dim Delahue, who lives around the corner from Galindo Street, wanting to catch whoever is responsible. He describes the moments he heard the explosion.
First I was sleeping and then I heard a loud pow. At first I thought it was someone getting shot.
Austin Police Chief Brian Manley says now is the time for the community to be more vigilant. He stated the devices can be detonated by moving or opening the boxes.
We don't want to have people be overly alarmed, but it is important that people be vigilant and be aware for things that look suspicious. If you have had a package show up at your home and you were not expecting a delivery, if the package that is delivered to your doorstep looks suspicious in any way, call 911.
For Caitlin, she believes her community will never be the same. She's thinking about her neighbor and her family.
I'm sorry that it happened to them, that I really am. I hope they are okay.
So Chief Manley says they have a task force to try to figure out what happened here. Governor Greg Abbott is offering a $15,000 reward to figure out what happened here as well. But just hours before this incident, there was another one in Austin. And that's where we find my colleague, Molly Oak. And Molly, what can you tell us at this time?
Now, when it comes to that 17-year-old boy we've seen on...
Well, Brandon, tonight neighbors naturally overwhelmed by news of another explosion. This time it happened on their street. Just before 6:45 this morning, neighbors say they heard a loud boom coming from a home on Old Fort Hill Drive here in East Austin. That boom, police say, coming from a package left on the steps. Police say that people living in the house went outside, picked up the package, something that we all do every day. But police say when the person brought it inside and opened it up, it exploded, killing a 17-year-old boy. We are holding off on reporting his name for now and sending a woman in her 40s to the hospital.
I know my immediate neighbors, and I walk the neighborhood all the time, and it's a very safe place. And now that I do know, I'll be watching.
Right now, the woman that was hospitalized is expected to survive, and we're still working to learn who the boy was, while police, ATF, and the FBI work to find out who left that package there. They want people to keep an eye out. Naturally, many in this neighborhood and others are feeling extremely paranoid tonight, worrying that this could happen again, and it could happen to them. Reporting live in East Austin, Molly Oak, KVUE News Nightbeat.
Molly, Brandon, thank you. Now, this string of destruction first began March the 2nd. 39-year-old Anthony House was killed after opening a suspicious package. Investigators again believe the incidents are all connected and aren't leaving any possibility out, including hate crimes. 2 of the victims were male African Americans, another a Hispanic woman.
It's been 10 days since the first deadly explosion, and until today, Austin investigators had said there was no threat to the public. KVUE Defenders investigative reporter Erica Proffer breaks down how things changed.
Starting on March 2nd, Austin police warned things might change. They used words like "we believe" at this time and "can't rule out." While they stood firm that the public was not at risk, things did change. Today, Austin police made an unexpected connection.
We have no information right now that makes us believe this is anything beyond an isolated incident.
When lives are on the line,
we do not see anything that makes us believe this is part of a larger operation.
Words matter more.
I do not believe that we have somebody that's going around leaving packages like this.
For police, it's life and death. Austin police investigated an explosion on March 2nd. A 39-year-old man, Anthony Stephen House, died. His 8-year-old child nearby.
I mean, it's just too early.
If you look at this investigation, you see the shifts. March 2nd, Chief Brian Manley said they're investigating a homicide. He had no information to believe it was beyond an isolated incident. Didn't see anything to be part of a larger operation.
But we are not making assumptions.
Then March 5th, more relief for the public. The investigation was downgraded from homicide to suspicious death. Assistant Chief Joe Chacon said it appeared to be isolated at that point. He added that the victim, Mr. House, could have constructed the device and accidentally detonated it.
In which case it would be an accidental death. So that's why we're not calling it a homicide yet.
Then 1 week later, a hard turn back to homicide. After more explosions, more injuries, and another death, police connected the two cases back to March 2nd. This time, APD acknowledged the public is at risk too, saying be aware and be cautious. Now they found similarities that they cannot rule out these incidents are in fact related.
We want the community to be aware.
And now Austin is on alert. For the KVUE Defenders, Erica Proffer, KVUE News.
Fred Burton, the chief security officer at Stratfor, sat down with Brian Mays earlier this evening and had more to say about APD's investigation.
From an investigative perspective, remember, you're going to have your federal partners look and examine the evidence, so it's going to be placed in the queue with all the other bombings that might happen around the country. So in essence, the urgency to find this bomb maker, Brian, doesn't kick in till the second bomb cooks off.
The ATF National Response Team, we have learned, is now going to be part of this investigation. How significant is that?
They're very good. We used to partner with the ATF International Response Team on overseas explosions and some of the huge terrorism events that I've investigated in the past. This is the nation's best resources to look at this kind of problem. And in essence, no agency goes it alone anymore since 9/11. ATF, the FBI, and APD will work together to try to resolve this.
All three explosions, according to police, appear to be related. What kind of things during the investigation? You've investigated these kinds of bombings before. What kinds of things will indicate they are related?
Bomb makers leave unique signatures, meaning how the bomb is constructed, the timing device, the firing train, the batteries, the forensics on the paper that's written, and the autopsies of victims that are survived, as well as those that have passed away. There's a tremendous amount of forensics on bodies.
These aren't easy to put together and build. Devices, explosive devices.
To get them work.
To get them to work. So this is somebody that knows what they're doing.
Exactly. This is somebody that has experience in dealing with bombs. Either he has practiced enough, perhaps received some kind of military training, maybe in the EOD world, or he has studied bombs to get them to work right. I've made bombs. I've been to the FBI school to investigate bombings, and it takes a lot of practice to get them right.
Governor Greg Abbott is offering a $15,000 reward for an arrest. In a statement, he said, "I want to assure all Texans, especially those in Austin, that local, state, and federal law enforcement officials are working diligently to find those responsible for these heinous crimes.
Now, we do understand a lot of you now concerned about packages that could arrive on your porch. APD and the United Postal Service urging you to be vigilant. Stay away from packages that are unexpected or unfamiliar. Also look out for lopsided, oddly shaped packages, maybe wires or strange odors or stains on those packages. Again, if you see anything suspicious, call 911. APD saying it may take some time to get there. They've responded to over 60 calls. They'll eventually, though, get to yours.
Authorities are also asking parents to please talk to your kids. Assistant Police Chief at APD, Eli Reyes, tweeted this out, saying he told his children they are no longer allowed to pick up packages when they get home from school or any other time. This spurred a lot of questions and a sensitive but necessary conversation. Hashtag have the talk. This situation, as you know, is still unfolding. We'll have the latest for you on KVUE.com and on Daybreak tomorrow morning.